Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms for January 22nd. Today we're going over the Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 12, What You Need. And you immediately go to your phone.
Because it's not January 22nd. That's today's date.
It is January 20th. Leave it. It is January 29th. You had one job.
I had
one job. And you failed.
I don't want to hear it coming from the person who can never remember what show we're on.
Doesn't matter. I go by your prompts. You have one job.
I can have the prompt up there, which says our show name, and you still won't know what it is.
January 29th is the date. I remember saying it a minute ago. And it is what it is.
I don't know.
Moving on. Twilight Zone. What you need. I will say right off, this is probably one of my favorite episodes they've done so far.
I think it, being that last week's, or the last Twilight Zone we did was good, and then it's like this one, 2 times in a row, that's a record so far. For
last one was good. I liked this one more. I liked what it did. I like how it ended. It was really good. Really well done.
The first thing that I noticed right off the bat, I am pretty sure this is the exact same set as the last episode. The bar.
Ooh. You might be right. Because it is the bar. There's a phone booth there.
This phone booth was in the same place. The doors were in the same place. It just looked like the exact same bar almost.
I didn't even think about that. And as you mention it, how easy would it be just to go ahead and just reuse that bar real quick? We had it in one scene, but we can make a whole show based or use it again.
But yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. So I was looking around and I was like, because I don't remember the back booths being there, but of course we didn't really get that much of a look at the bar.
No, most of it was from the side, and we saw from the side, and he moved to there and then back here.
Yeah.
So,
but otherwise, no. I mean, the telephone booth looked the exact same, was in the exact area of the bar.
Yeah, it wasn't different, but if it wasn't the exact same set, they duplicated it as best they could to a degree. Or they just really like that type of set for a bar. I don't know,
But yes, so we
started off at a bar. We kind of went over very quickly.
The first person they kind of zoom in on, we're thinking, oh, is this the main character? But no, it's just the guy sitting there drinking. And it kind of pans over to another guy who looks like he's just pissed off at the world. Yeah.
Fred
Renard.
Yeah, good last name there. It gets referred to much more as Renard than it is Fred.
Oh, yeah. One of the other first things that I noticed is that the bartender is kind of a prick.
He's not a very nice guy.
He's like we sell alcohol here. We don't rent space out.
Yes.
Which I've never heard at a bar ever.
Yeah, they don't generally say anything. I mean, I don't know how you really can. He did at least buy a drink.
Yeah.
And the bartender's upset because he hasn't bought another drink.
I can see that at restaurants and stuff, but most of the time, bartenders and stuff want you to at least stay in the bar, because by staying in the bar, they know you're going to buy another drink at some point, or someone else is going to buy you a drink.
And it's not like they were overly cram-packed full, that he was really just messing anything up.
No. So yeah, he was kind of which is funny, which also in relation to the last episode, Fred's rebuttal to him was something like jump to the moon.
Yes.
Which I found hilarious, being that, the last episode, same bar, astronauts, all that kind of stuff. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's a funny nice little references. This one there.
But yes, Fred Renard, 36 years, and the narrator didn't really have that much nice to say about him either.
No. Well, Fred, not a good guy.
Oh, the list of words that the narrator used to describe him was 36 long, miserable, blah, blah, blah years. And I was like, whew.
Fred's looking for an escape.
Yes.
Any escape. And this little old man
might be what he's looking for.
I liked the little old man.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. I thought I wrote it down at some point.
I tried, but because I didn't know his name,
no, I did. It's towards the end.
It starts with a P.
Yes, it did. Where did I get it? Because a little higher than. Pedot.
Padot.
Padot.
Okay. Because I remember him saying, like...
Pedott.
Be like,
Padot.
hey, you. And he's like, my name is blah.
Yes, it's a very odd name.
Yeah.
But Padot was... I liked Padot.
Yes, he was a cute little old man. Like when
Weird that any bar, period, would let someone come in and sell things at the bar.
That's the thing I wrote down right next was soliciting. Just the fact that he was just, outright walking. But then again, when what was it? Up north, there was one person who would go around selling roses at different bars and stuff.
But they probably allow it. But you could already tell the bartender wasn't particularly happy about it.
Yeah.
He says, this old guy comes in here every night, bothering the customers. It's like, I'm pretty sure you have every in your right to kick him out.
Yeah. But yes, he walks in, he's peddling shoelaces and matchboxes and...
Just simple, unextraordinarily things that people might need.
But it's just funny, like shoelaces. I just find that funny. That
I don't
guy
know why
was brought up multiple times, and he had pot holders. Like
just weird little things.
But yes.
Yes, the first person he goes up to is a young woman.
Yes.
And he asks what she might need. She says maybe some matches. Then he gets this weird look on his face.
I was like, he's very persuasive. First off, because he's like, no. I know what you need. And then just pulls out this little bottle and just the look that he's giving her. He's like staring into her eyes. I'm like, dude, you're a little creepy. Just a little creepy that you're just staring at her for a really long time.
Well, he knows what you need, okay? He knows what you need. So he gives her some cleaner, as he describes it.
It'll
remove any spot. And blah, 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 this cleaner. Like, this is a sales pitch right here. This is the best cleaner you're ever going to get.
He's like, you're going to need this.
Except he doesn't sell it. There's never an exchange of money in the show. He never actually sells anything. She attempts to give him money, but then he says, no, you don't really need the masters. What you need is this.
Yes. So I don't know. It's weird because then I want to say later on, the guy... Fred actually says, like, oh, you just sell things to people what they need, or you're exchanging your gift for petty cash or whatever. And it's like, but if he's not really selling it, then you're
I'm sure somehow at some point he does sell something. He's got to make money somehow, and this is all he does. But I'm just saying, in the show itself, we actually never see him exchange money. He always gives it away for free because it's what they need.
Yes. So the next person that he goes up to is good old Lefty, sitting
good
at the bar.
Good old Lefty, yep.
And once again, the bartender is just a complete dick.
He's not nice.
He is just laughing at him the whole, why Lefty? He calls him Lefty. It's like, yeah, and just goes on a
Well, he also throws out an interesting line, like maybe he's the one that did it to his arm.
I don't know.
Because he says something about, I dropped something on him. Way back in the day. There was one line that made it sound like he's the one that hurt him.
Well, that's the thing, is that he didn't get hurt. His arm went sour, meaning it's just like, it was a pitcher that was really good at pitching, and then eventually he just wore out.
See, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. The bartender made a statement that made it seem like maybe he was the one that kind of injured his arm, and why it didn't work.
Yeah. But anyways, this guy, because the guy's like, well, ask Lefty, he'll tell you what he needs. And he's like, well, what do you need? And he's like, I need a new left arm. So at first I was like, I had to think for a minute. I was like, wait, is he missing an arm? And I didn't catch this at the opening scene. And then he goes directly into, I was a pitcher. And then, actually, I think the bartender spoke for him most of the time, being he's
trying to find a new career, a new pitching career at the bottom of a bottle.
Yes, 7 nights a week.
Yes.
And so the guy's like, I can tell you what you need. And he's like, well, okay, old man, what do I need? Pops. He called him Pops.
Pops.
What do I need, Pops? So he hands him a bus ticket.
For Scranton, Pennsylvania.
And the guy's like, what do I need this for? And he's like, you need this. You just need this.
And practically immediately after, the phone rings. And the one the bar or one that waiters or something answers, and it's like, "Oh, Lefty, it's for you."
Yeah.
And he goes back there, and it's silent for a second. We see his mouth moving in there. He's talking, blah blah blah.
Super happy. Meanwhile, what you're getting around this scene is that first off, the old man is looking upon the scene, he's like, I know what's going on. It's almost like he's like, this is fate. I'm just letting fate unravel, or it'll just like it's Ka. But in the background, you see Fred also watching the entire scene.
Very carefully keeping an eye on what's happening and everything.
Yes, and so then next thing you know, Lefty comes out and he's like, well, look at that. He's like, I just got the strangest phone call. He's like, it was a friend of mine, He says he has a coaching job for me in Scranton. And he looks to the old man. How did you know? How did you know I was going to need this?
He said he wanted me to take a bus.
Yeah. Of all things, a bus. And then he's like, to Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then he's like, he kind of looks at the old man. He's like, how did you know I'd be needing this? And he was like, why does it matter? Just take what's given to you and use it. Mm-hmm. It's yours.
Yes. And then the guy goes on to, I gotta clean up. I need to shave. I got crap all on my jacket. I got a spot.
Yes. It's like, and he's like, I need to shave, but at first I just gotta tidy up. Like just look at these mess, these stains, and the girl. All of a sudden, you just see the woman. She's like, excuse me.
Well, he set up some love life as well. That's what he's doing.
So she walks over. She's like, I just, I couldn't help but overhear that you had a spot. Why don't you try this? And he's like, well, I can't trouble you for something like that. And she's like, no, allow me. And so she's sitting there cleaning his... For all she knows, this thing could cause a huge bleach stain in his thing. But whatever. She's just...
No, the old man sold it well. To which she immediately also sold it well.
Yeah, she apparently... The way she was talking to him, it's like she'd been using it for years.
Yes, no. You swore this is her go-to cleaner.
As soon as this dries, you won't even know there was a spot there. And then so she pretty much just they just smile at each other, and the old man is just kind of once again looking at the whole scene in admiration when he just freezes up. Just gets this dark look in his eyes, and then kind of turns a little to see Fred just
keep an eye on everything.
And he decides that's probably the time to just pick up shop.
Leaves. He leaves. Yeah. He scoots on out.
And
very immediately followed.
Yes. Well, the first thing that happens is Lefty is like, he's like, if you wouldn't have been there, how did you even come across this? And she's like, oh, well, it happens that this old... And they look around and poof, he's gone. I mean, they see the door kind of swinging, but just 1 minute he's there, 1 minute he's, whoop, I'm out. So he leaves and Fred follows.
Yeah, Fred follows.
And Fred's like, so, what you selling there? Shoelaces and matchbooks and, anything you might need.
Mm-hmm. Anything you might need.
Well, what do I need? What do you, well, I don't know. Only you can say what you need. It's like, no, tell me what I need. I know something. You can see something, can't you?
Yeah, Fred gets very...
Aggressive?
Aggressive. Very aggressive. Threatens the old man.
Oh, yeah. He grabs him by the collar and is pretty much... And you just see the old man kind of looking at his suitcase and just...
Of all things, grabs scissors. Yes. It's like he's gonna stab him.
He's gonna stab him. What I was like, either he's about to shank him, and then he has the scissors, and the guy grabs it. Fred grabs his wrist, and I'm like, oh, now the old man's gonna die. The old man's gonna die. Fred's gonna take over. This is gonna be the end of it. And no, he's like, I need scissors, and he's like, yes, you're gonna need these. It's like, why would I need scissors? Of all things, you're gonna need these. So Fred just kind of takes his word for it, and puts them in his pocket, and goes on his way.
Goes back to his apartment building.
Which he's of course, a dick to the
He's
secretary, too. He's like, secretary, hostess, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think secretary is probably the right word for it.
No, it's
hostess is a little bit better. It's probably a better word for it.
But I can't think what the actual, I don't know, customer service desk, pretty much.
Yes, for the hotel.
Yeah. But anyways, he's like, keys. Give me my keys. He's like, oh, jeez. Like, go away. Just go away.
Douche all around.
Yeah.
Gets in the elevator, to which the door shut and catches scarf.
Which I noted, his scarf didn't even look like it was tied that well.
It wasn't tied at all.
Like, it was literally around his neck, and then you could see one twist. One twist that all he had to do was go like that, and his scarf would have come off.
Yeah. One slowest elevator known to man. The caterpillar, in the elevator shaft, could have gone up faster than this elevator was going. Two, yes, the scarf. He practically held the other end so it would be tighter. It's like y'all could have done that probably a little better. That was the worst attempt at getting strangled with a scarf I have ever seen.
I'm pretty sure they didn't want to actually strangle their actor.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
But yes, and he's like struggling. He's like, help me. And
Can't reach the stop button.
Yeah. And so he starts digging in his pocket and voila.
There's the scissors.
Which, for as sharp as they look, those scissors were not cutting well. He's like...
Yeah, it took a while. They look like little kid scissors.
Yeah. Like, it's like grown adult scissors that cut like plastic little cheapy things. They're like...
They were rough. But they got through. They saved him from being an idiot and getting strangled with a scarf.
Yes. That's why you shouldn't wear a scarf. No capes.
To which immediately we cut over to him sitting in the dark.
I was like, how did he even find his house?
Which was my first thing, like, how did he find this old man? How does he know where he lived? This is way back in the day. There's no Google. There's no... Who would even ask where the old man even lives?
So
it's a weird little thing as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like, at first he's just sitting in the dark smoking, and then it shows the old man, like, opening his door and stuff. But it's like, my first thought was, death? Because it just reminded me of the first episode with Louie and just Death appearing in his house and Louie just being all cool with it, except the guy actually reacted like you should.
Yes.
Drops all his stuff and is like, what are you doing here? Why are you here bothering me?
Well, this way accuses him, like, what do you got in there? And he kicks his stuff.
Yeah.
That's a douchebag.
I literally wrote down, guy is such a dick. Please let him fail hard. Like, please let something happen to him. Because I can't deal with this anymore. He needs to go. Push him out a window. I don't care at this point.
This kid don't really care. He's like, you got a crystal ball in there, or blah, blah, blah. You could see something. Yeah. You could see something.
Yes. And the guy, he just looks devastated because he doesn't want any of this. He wants to just sell his little baubles and help people, and he just has the saddest look in his eyes. I'm like, this poor little man. Like,
it's like, you've got a talent. He's like, I have a talent, but I must use it sparingly. Which you never go into why.
No, he doesn't. I don't.
But he's very adamant he shouldn't use it all the time.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's the one thing that really doesn't get explained.
Yeah, they didn't touch back on that. I kind of thought they would.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he just thinks it's just playing. Like, at that point in time, you're just starting to just meddle with things you shouldn't meddle with for it. But,
he goes on threatening and doing his thing.
And he's like, what do I need? Tell me, what do I need tonight?
To which, of course, eventually they're like, fine. And just hands him a pen. Like, of all things, a pen. What should he use? Like, a pen? I need a pen. And he opens it up, and then, it starts leaking everywhere. A leaky pen?
Yeah, a leaky fountain pen. What do I need a leaky fountain pen for? And then just, like, looks down at the paper. And suddenly notices where the little drip happened. And it's about, what is this? It's by a horse's name. Mm-hmm. I see. Oh, you clever man. Yeah. This is what I needed, all right.
Nice douche.
So, to which, of course, he is happy. He runs out, whatever. And I think the next scene is him sitting on his bed just playing with all his cash.
we're just way worried about cash. This crumbled up cash all over the bed. It was like $250 or something, which to us is like, that's what you want, huh? That was it. You couldn't manage anything else. But I mean, I'm sure back in the 50s, 60s, it was a lot more.
When it's 10 cents for most food that you can buy.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. So good for him. He's won money.
So he's like, he gets a knock on the door, and it's this guy, and he's...
Well, this is after he is a douchebag to... What's the guy that walks in?
No, that's the paper guy. That's the guy I'm talking about.
Oh,
yeah. Because he's like, do you have today's paper? And he rips it out of his hands, and then he puts it on the ground, and is sitting there trying to... Like, first he stops and looks at him, and is like, what are you still doing here? He's like, haven't you heard of a tip?
Well, that's after this guy's staring at all the money on his bed.
Yeah. So he asks him, he's like, well, haven't you heard of a tip? And the guy's like, I'll give you a tip, and like kicks the door on him and is like, don't play with matches, which I found that funny. But
yes, we keep using matches and shoelaces come up with this so many times, not even funny. Yes, he shoves the door in his face and pushes him out.
And then proceeds to open the pen, and it's not dripping anymore. Nothing happens.
It's a perfectly normal pen at that point.
So, once again, he tracks him down.
He's very good about tracking Padot down. He really is, like, really good.
So he finds him selling his wares and stuff on a corner, it looks like.
Yeah.
And immediately he's, like, wanting to pack up. Like, I'm done. And Fred, of course, stops him. He's like, what? The pen, it stopped working. It's like, it's only what you need once.
You only need things like once. He didn't give you the magic pen of life that's going to make you infinite amount of money. That's not how this worked out.
No. And so it was weird because in that one moment, it's like he had a complete and total personality change. Like he just completely softened, like just his eyes, his expression, and he's like, I forgot what he was saying though, because Padot was telling him something. And his demeanor changed for a minute, and he's like, well, what do I need? And then just suddenly, Padot said something to which he's just like, again.
Well, at one point, Padot says, I don't want to sell you anything anymore. Yeah. To which, of course, he gets angry. Yeah. What do I need? What do I need? Well, I'll tell you what you need. Yeah. Or what you need is something I can't sell you.
Yes,
like,
that's
what's that? And, well, we get a list.
Yes. He gets a list, and that's when his demeanor changes. Like, he starts to, like, as the list goes on, he starts to soften, as though he's understanding what Padot is saying. Like, he's really feeling it. But by the end of it, he's like, nah, I need something from you. I need something.
And his list was what, like compassion and empathy and like real, like, human values and not necessarily things.
Yes. And a sense of humor.
Yes, sense of humor is one of them. Like, okay.
But, so anyways, he once again grabs up poor little Padot and is just like...
Yeah, and Padot's scared. He doesn't want to give him anything. Yes. He's like, no. And the guy starts rummaging through his bag. And he's like, And he gets to a particular spot. And he's like, no, don't do that. Yeah. And he takes it. And he's like, shoes.
Oh, I need these shoes, don't I?
Shoes. So, of course, he immediately puts them on.
Which, when he sat down on the sidewalk and started putting the shoes on, I was like, someone's going to just whoop. Like, I was expecting him just to run over on the curb.
But no.
No. You can hope, but no.
Torch, he gets up. Is like, well, they're a little tight. Yeah. They're a little tight on me. And the leather soles, which he kind of slips a little bit on the wet ground. And it's like, I don't even like leather soles.
No. He's like, I don't like these. He's like, but they're going to take me somewhere, aren't they?
Exactly. I'm going to start walking, and I'm going to end up somewhere.
They're going to lead me somewhere. And he's like, he just stands there for a minute, and he's like, nothing, what's happening? Nothing's happening.
Yes, he's very impatient about the fact that these shoes aren't working fast enough.
Yes. To which he looks up, and Padot has crossed the street, is on the other side of the road, and he's like, well, what's the big deal? Like, what's with these shoes? You said I needed these shoes. And he's like, I did not tell you needed those shoes.
Well, first he was like, another thing you need is patience. And the guy goes, I'll tear you apart bone by bone. He's like, you told me I needed these. I didn't tell you needed those.
To which, Fred does not like these. Does not like these responses, does not like anything that's happening, so he decides he's going to go at him.
Yeah, it's like these, what are these? I didn't tell you what you need. These aren't what you need, but they are what I need.
So Fred gets pissed. He starts storming over and just starts sliding.
Yep, sliding in the wet.
Yes.
Because these things are slippery on the wet ground.
Yes. So he's sliding, and a car just whips around the corner,
Yeah,
and he's Wah!
A car from nowhere just comes by and hits him, which it was cool. Watching him like, oh, okay, I see how y'all did that. I see how y'all did that. Y'all filmed this really slowly, and it was obvious they just sped up the camera that made it look like it happened at a quick pace, so he fell over. It's like, okay, I little camera trick, I get it. It's obvious to tell from this day and age exactly what you did. Clever, yes.
So he's, of course, not there anymore, which we all got what we want. Just yay!
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, because this killed him.
Oh, yeah.
This killed him. The man is dead.
To which the old man pretty much starts talking to technically us, but technically to
the
corpse. And he repeats the exact same thing. This is what I needed. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, you were going to kill me.
What I saw that night at the bar in your eyes was you were going to kill me.
Was death.
Death. Was my death.
Yes. And he's like, so this is
so what you needed. Yeah, what you needed was slippery shoes.
Yes. And then, of course, the police and stuff show up, and this couple runs out, and they're like, hey, did you see anything? And he's like,
it was a hit and run.
Can I interest you in anything tonight?
Just go right on, like I'm going to go ahead and just sell these wheels.
Shoelaces. What about, book of matches? And they're like looking at him like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know what you need? You need a comb.
This was one of the weirder ones of the whole thing.
So he hands him a comb, free of charge. For tonight, just it's yours. And the guy's looking at him like, sure. So he takes the comb.
The old man walks off. He's just a loony.
Yeah, he's just a loony. So then they walk over, they get closer to the scene, and suddenly a reporter comes over. We'd like to take your paper for the newspaper, or picture for the newspaper.
Which the wife there is like, okay, cleaned up weird night, you get dressed, blah, blah, blah. It's like, use the comb. And he combs his hair back and is like, da-da.
Yeah. So the picture snaps like in a second, and then he's like staring at the comb, and he's like, ha-ha.
It was what I needed.
Yes.
Of all things, to comb your hair for a picture. Weird.
Yes.
Weird.
And then, of course, it looks back at a pair of empty shoes.
Oh, they're slippery shoes. They apparently left them.
I don't know if they're the slippery shoes or if they're just his shoes that he had taken off.
It doesn't
but
matter.
Either way, it just has the scene of the shoes just sitting there, and of course the narrator, he talks about needing things and Fred learning his lesson.
Again, like I said in I think the last episode, don't mess with a man that can tell the future. If he's able to see the future in any way to give you things to help to improve your life, don't mess with him. Because if you can do that, what else can he do?
There's certain things you just kind of leave. There's certain people you leave alone. And one of those people is anybody that can deal with the future in any way. I know that at one point in time we did talk about, like, on Would You If, of like, oh, if someone could tell you your future or when you were going to die or anything like that. It's like, that's one thing. That's politely asking somebody or somebody asking you and you just going with it. Mm-hmm. It's not grabbing someone by the shirt collar and going, you're going to tell me or else.
Demanding them tell you.
Oh, we forgot, like, a huge, like, important part at one point. Yes.
Sure.
When they were in the house and he was talking about, like, after he's done kicking his stuff, he's like, you may settle for the petty cash and stuff, but your partner doesn't. Your partner's hungry. He wants more than that. And he's like, Padot's like, I don't want a partner. And he's like, well, you're going to have one. And just, like, starts pretty much pushing himself into...
Yes, he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He's just a douchebag. There's no other way of putting it. It was good to see him die in the end. Yeah,
it was satisfying.
You deserved it. You just deserve it. Cool episode. Cool playing with the future. Nice old guy. Overall, it was just a cool episode.
I believe, like, all the... Just... besides the scarf scene, pretty much everything was really well done. All the actors were completely on point.
Yeah.
Like, just very believable to where you actually hated some of them. And then, of course, you cheered for the little old man the entire time. So
Yes, because he was definitely a little old man.
yes.
I mean, he was little. He was actually really
Yes.
little. To say next to some people, he was really small compared.
It was a cute little old man. So it's like, you just don't mess with people. Just
No, you do not. So, very cool episode. We both enjoyed it. The next episode of Twilight Zone will be The Four of Us Are Dying.
Okay.
A man who can change his face to look like other people uses his ability to improve his life regardless of the effects on others.
Huh. That should be pretty interesting.
That should be fun. That sounds fun.
But the next episode is actually going to be Breaking Mirror,
Yes.
or Black Mirror. Breaking Mirror. Woo!
Breaking Mirror.
Black Mirror, which is, I actually read it.
What's the name of it?
That's a good question. I just know it had to do something with something. I don't remember. I read it.
I thought you had it.
I had it, and it ran away.
It ran away.
It ran away.
Let me go on here. All right. Season 3, episode, I think 5 is what we're on. Men Against Fire.
Yeah, I never would remember that.
Yeah. After his first battle with an elusive enemy, the soldier begins experiencing unfamiliar sensations and strange technical glitches.
See, I remember that, but I don't. There was no way I was going to ever guess that.
Yeah. I remember watching this. This was not one of my favorites. Probably this season's for my least favorite episode of the season. It's not bad, but it's also like one of the ones I remember least. I remember pieces of kind of what happens, but again, it's one of my lesser ones in my opinion. I really like the last episode though. It's called Hated in the Nation. It's an interesting one. It's also an hour and a half long.
Oh.
And then we'll be moving on.
What you're saying is that make sure I actually watch that one and not wait until after work.
Yeah. You might want to. It's a little bit longer. The next one's an hour long. So, and then we'll be moving on to season 4.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which starts off with the Star Trek-ish episode.
And we still have to figure out how to watch Bandersnatch.
Yeah, at some points we actually need to do that. Whether it's just you coming over and me and you'll together make the decision, so we can at least talk about one of the possible endings. We need to actually watch it and have some kind of specials at least, or just take a break. Or next week is Black Mirror anyway.
Yeah.
It could just be a random weird episode in the middle, and we'll move on to that next. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll go out when it goes out. But I believe that is it. As always, you can reach me at Stars Untraveled. Reach Amanda at KZPup. Reach the show at Beyond Our Focus on Twitter, or at Twitter, at Facebook, at Instagram, at podcast services, or at YouTube.
He's lost his power and he does not know it.
Still try. I can still try. But please throw some likes on the videos if you enjoy them at all. Throw some comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the episodes. Or anything else, or any suggestions whatsoever. Subscribe to the channel, because we appreciate that.
Yay!
That would be nice to get a few more subscribers. Anything else? You got anything for the peeps?
I don't believe so.
All 3.5 of them, I think, we've discovered. Something like that.
3.5, and then 2 more that like to watch what's in the box.
We're going to chat about that. Till next time, long days and pleasant nights.